couple of minutes to 6, but before we go to the 6 o'clock news hour, a quick recap following this severe magnitude 7.5 earthquake which hit North Canterbury just after midnight. 4 major quakes and hundreds of aftershocks have been felt throughout the day, with the Defence Force and Civil Defence working to assess the damage in Wellington, Marlborough and North Canterbury. One person has been confirmed dead in a building collapse near Kaikoura, and there's been another quake-related death at Mount Lyford. That's after someone suffered a heart attack. The Huranui district has been declared an official state of local emergency, and John Key, after visiting the area, has described the damage as utter devastation. He says it will cost billions to resolve. Now, roads in and out of Kaikoura are blocked. There is no water or sewerage in the town. Red Cross are offering water supplies for those who need them. Officials are now keeping a watchful eye on the weather too, because severe gales of up to 140 kilometres an hour are expected to hit Wellington and Marlborough tonight. Well, we continue our coverage with the 6 o'clock news hour. But first, let's take a look at these images from a most difficult day in New Zealand history. Back soon.
Ruaimoko, Ruaimoko, Ruaimoko. Katanku kwa te tihi o orani. Katanku.
Operational there with pilots.
Fear in their eyes as the aftershocks continue following a massive earthquake that has caused widespread damage across the country.
Kia ora, good evening from just north of Christchurch, where aftershocks continue to rattle nerves. Urgent assessments are still taking place tonight after a destructive earthquake caused extensive damage throughout the South and North Islands. 2 people have been killed, towns cut off and major roads destroyed. The 7.5 magnitude quake struck near Hanna Springs at a shallow depth of 15 kilometres just after midnight, and followed by nearly 400 aftershocks that we have felt here this afternoon and also across large parts of the country.
What the is going on?
Well, One News has extensive coverage of the quake throughout the news hour. Our reporters are standing by and we'll go live to them for the very latest shortly. We begin tonight with the worst affected area. Kaikoura and Ali Pugh is there.
It's usually a picture postcard coastline, but today this iconic stretch of road was brought to a standstill. Massive slips, rocks and debris blocking the roads both north and south. Kaikoura is completely cut off.
Help and get me out. Yeah, it was hard. Sorry. Do you want us to? I was in the Christchurch once, and let's just put it all back.
The earthquake's impact can be seen right across the region.
Mike, what can you tell us about the situation on the Clarence River?
Well, Tom, what we know is that there were 2 groups out on the Clarence River, 16 whitewater rafters and 6 kayakers. Now, the good news is that police have actually contacted the 16 whitewater rafters via satellite phone. They've found the
Moment.
Well, Tony, flying into Kaikoura today, it was pretty obvious the extent of the damage as we came up the coastal road. There were rocks as far as we could see and slips, it seemed, every sort of couple of hundred metres. And what that means basically is that Kaikoura is in total isolation tonight, both to the north and to the south. And that means anyone who's in town is not able to get out, and you can see a lot of them here at the moment. Cars, camper vans, makeshift camping grounds and tents have been set up. They're not going anywhere fast. And the best suggestion that we've found so far is that it could be up to 3 to 4 days before we'll see any clearance. The good news is that when we flew in with our pilot Bill today, he'd made his first flight this morning at around about 6:30, and I think we came in early afternoon, and he thought that the progress that they'd made already in those few hours was quite significant. So good news there, and long may that last. Now, as I say, Kaikoura is in isolation, but it's not the only town that's isolated and completely cut off tonight. We went to Waiau. This is our story.
She's now recovering in hospital.
When I saw the building, I thought, how the hell did you get out?
We're going to talk to Amanda Gillies, who's obviously still in Kaikoura. Amanda, good evening to you. Well, I mean, it's a remarkable story of survival, isn't it?
Yes, good evening, guys. We arrived here early this afternoon. Getting here was no easy feat. The road in and out is closed, so we flew here in a helicopter, and from the air we could see the devastating damage right along the coast, landslip after landslip, and they got bigger as we went along, covering the entire road. There was a train that had stopped in its tracks. The actual tracks are a mess. There were marooned animals, marooned on newly formed islands near newly formed reefs, scattered with fish, dead fish, and then the actual road, State Highway 1, that is a mangled mess. I actually stood in a metre-wide crack. It came up to my belly button. It will take weeks, maybe months to repair. We finally arrived in Kaikoura, and that's when we saw the homestead. It was a devastating sight. Lewis Edgar, a retired husband and father of 3, died there, his home for 6 decades. We spoke to his devastated children. They said he was an amazing dad. Understandably, they were in shock. We are now at the hospital. A couple of hundred people are here. They are camping out. Some don't have anywhere else to go. Some are just too scared to go home. We've felt so many aftershocks here today, guys. Fair to say it will be a long night.
All right, Amanda, we'll leave you there. Thank you so much for your time.
OK, now we're going to tell you Alan's story. He works with the fire service in a place called Waiau, a broken town tonight full of broken homes, and that includes Alan's.
Yeah, as he was showing Jindy Harper.
Fine. How's Mary going? Has she got this under control?
Oh, hell yeah.
They'll be here on her watch tonight.
We'll just push everything back and put the mattresses in and go from there.
But the bell at Waiau School won't ring for a while yet. You know, if there's a way to sum up Kaikoura this evening and Waiau as well, it's vulnerability. And that comes about when you don't have any communication and you're completely cut off. It is a real vulnerable feeling here, and certainly that's what we felt in Waiau as well. Although there was one familiar face that touched down in Waiau this afternoon.
Yes. Well, Richie McCaw, obviously helping out those vulnerable people, Mike. What sort of job was he doing today?
I'm not entirely sure, Tony, to be honest. I saw him touch down and rush off in all sorts of importance, and we had to get to Kaikoura very, very quickly. But I tell you what, they were happier to see him than they were me, although once we brought supplies, we were back in the good books.
Yeah, I bet you were. Just as well you went and got those bickies. Thanks, Mike. That's Mike Thorpe in Kaikoura this evening.
Isn't it amazing? Like, leadership is leadership, isn't it? You see her? I mean, she's just like...
She was cracking the whip, and good on her.
There's nothing you can do about it for now, so you just get on with it and make the most of it, so good on you. As we've seen many times, of course, before, when adversity strikes, people come together and help. Sadly today, we heard this, I think it was about 7:30 this morning. For God's sake, this monumental disappointment it was to see reports of the looting, one of the reprobates taking advantage of others' misfortune, of course.
But by far and away, the stories of caring people and their kindness have outweighed those shocking stories, and here are a few of them.
Good morning, Pulsar FM. It is 1:45 this morning.
20-year-old radio DJ Mike Nicholas went straight to work on Christchurch's Pulsar FM station.
I am trying to keep everyone up to date and keep everyone safe and all that sort of thing.
He was on air for 2 hours by himself before backup arrived. Around the corner, Harley Jolly was woken by the quakes and wanted to help.
The light bulb went off my head. I mean, I got the means to be able to help. I had a little bit of stock, so I just came down with what I had and passed out a few free coffees.
He gave away 60 at the Linwood Emergency Centre before he ran out of beans. And the University of Canterbury Student Army was back